Jamal, we were just talking about sort of overall what stands out to you about this NBA Finals matchup. What do you got?
Wow, I wasn't sure Dallas was going to get here at the beginning of the season. Like, I knew Luka and Kai would do their thing, and I knew they would have a better flow because I thought last year was almost your turn, my turn. They would have a better flow in how they play. We all thought Boston would be here, but it's intriguing because Dallas took out 3 of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference. So, I think they're peaking at the right time, and it kind of reminds me of that Dirk-led team that won the championship. Yeah. Like how they're just peaking at the right time and kind of went under the radar, and now they got that magic with them.
So who would you pick here in this series?
See, there you go, Rachel, being great at what you do. I'm going to say my head says Boston, my heart says Dallas. So I'm just going to go with my heart on this one. I think Dallas is the more together team. I think Boston has some of that, like Mike Tyson, like early when he was fighting. He'll knock you out the first rounds. And I think Boston is that. If they're up 15, the ball's hopping, everybody's touching the rock, they're playing at their best. But when they get in tight games, I think that's when their trust sometimes comes into the picture.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about that, like head and heart. I think, I was saying that any Boston team doesn't really get a ton of pickup from fans around the country. I don't know what it is. I think it's the same with New York teams. Like, they're not America's teams in that same way. So I think around the rest of the country, outside of New England, there are a lot of people who would like to see this Dallas team win. And the storylines we were talking about when you first came on, I mean, they want Kyrie to sort of come full circle here. Luka is so engaging, and the idea that he could sort of finally get the title that we've been talking about since the day he got into the league, that kind of thing. And then you look at just the numbers and you look at, how these teams have done. If you took both of the names off of it, the Celtics, the individual players they've got, the team numbers that they've put together, it's sort of hard to argue with any of that. I don't know. What would have to happen for the Mavericks to win? We haven't really talked about that, guys. Like, if the Mavericks were going to pull this off, what has to happen on the court? What do you got, Bug?
Man, for me, it's going to take a guy like P.J. Washington having an incredible series. I'm saying maybe averaging 20, 22 a game to match whatever production you're getting from a Kyrie and a Luka. On top of that, I think Lively gets sat. I think we see a lot of Kleber, Maxi Kleber, if I don't have his name messed up. But,
you're Kleber.
Maxi Kleber. Obviously, he's a better perimeter defender when it comes to being a big. And I think that's more what they'll need when it comes to, the 5-out type offense Boston runs. They have 5 guys that can spread the floor consistently on the floor. So, and it's going to take an incredible performance from Kleber on the defensive end and also add some offense as well. So, I think it's going to take a spectacular series from some of the role guys on the Mavericks, outside of, Kyrie and Luka doing what they do on a nightly. So, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot.
IT, do you feel the same way, or do you think there's other stuff that they could use to overcome Boston?
I mean, the role players just got to play. Like, they got to give something. Like we said earlier, even if Luka and Kyrie play exceptional, they average 40 each. Like, those other guys got to bring something. And that's a big what if. Like, they've never been in this situation. The light's never been this bright in their career. They've never, I don't think, to a point to where they have to give a lot. Like, they got to get every game, they got to give their best. They got to play their best, I think, for them to come out on top. Like, Boston just has more players that play well in these moments than Dallas that we've seen from Dallas. Like, we don't know. Those guys might show up and play well each and every game, but that's just, I think that's out of their character to be able to play that as well as they need to play every game in the NBA Finals. Like, that's hard to do. That's going to be hard. Not saying they can't. Like, they got a chance. They got there for a reason. Dallas is a really good team, a well-coached team, but it's just like you got to play perfect every game for them to have a chance. But if the game is close, if these games are close, I got Dallas winning these games if they're close, for sure. It's a big
Right.
if.
So Jamal, what's the argument for you picking Dallas?
I think
What has to
T's
happen?
point. Yeah, they have to keep the games close. If the games are closer, that's when Kyrie and Luka really shine. And by them being that aggressive, it relaxes everybody else. When your stars, those two know when your superstar players are that good, everybody else can be who they are and start in their role. And I also think somehow, some way, J. Kidd has to put himself in the game. And what I mean by that is his coaching knowledge, his experience, seeing the game from a different way. He has to somehow put himself in the game and put his fingerprints all over it, where he kind of balances the talent they may not have by putting himself in and out coaching Missoula, if possible.
Put himself in the game like spill a soda on the court? Are we talking about that kind of thing?
It was genius. It was genius. Running into Mike Woodson, getting technical.
I loved
Those
it.
are genius moves right there. That's what I'm talking about, Rachel. You already know.